Lorraine. How you doing? Lorraine and Nancy and Dea and Noreen and Joan.
Hi, Sunshine. How are you?
So nice to see you all.
It's great to be here.
We're going to wait just a few minutes to give the chance. Hi, Douglas.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Doug.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I had to actually disconnect the microphone from that I normally work on, because I normally work on my husband's desktop. He has a much bigger screen so I can see everybody better. But when I went to demonstrate everything in Word, when I went to demonstrate everything in Word, he has Word 7. And everything was different. So I said, I have to do it on my little laptop. So I think we got a few more people planning to join. Here's Peggy coming in. Good.
Hey, Peggy. Good afternoon, Peggy.
Hi, Peggy.
So nice to see you, Ellen. Hey.
Thank you. You guys. Hi.
Do you know that?
Love your hat, Ellen.
Thank you.
Did you know that there is a study out that says that when you communicate with people face to face, like on Zoom, the communication is a lot more effective than talking just by voice. And you know, that's my own experience. I believe it, but it's nice the study agrees with me. Hey, hi there, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Bob, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just kicking back. I decided I didn't want to get up and go in and sit in a chair, so I'm just leaning back in the bed.
I want to hear a funny story. I got a funny story. I was practicing during my delivery of what I want to share with you, and Lorraine signed in, and I wasn't dressed yet. I said, Lorraine, I got to stop this session.
Oh, well.
Well, I did get dressed.
Okay. I think we got enough people here to just go ahead and start, because I don't want to lose our 40 minutes. And I'm going to go through. I sent out, I hope you got it, with the invitation, I attached 3 documents. One is a detailed description of what to do in KDP to download your templates, and what to do in Word to get it into that kind of template, get your documents in, and then get it up, okay? We're not going to have time enough to go through all of that in detail. What I did attach is I'm going to jump down to number 4 on the first page. I created a template shell. I've used this shell for myself for 2 books, for a friend who did a book, and I'm using it for a book that I'm working on right now, and it's been working really well. So the template that you download from KDP might be slightly different, but I'm going to use what I have been using, and it works, okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to open up the document.
Will we see it? Can we see it on the screen?
Wait a minute. I have to share first. I'm going to open up a share. And then I'm going to open up the document. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to back it up to what I just said. We created this template. Okay, but we're looking on the document on the screen, so don't worry about it. And please, everybody, mute yourself, because if more than one person is talking, you can't hear any of it. And actually, I'm going to take care of that. Okay, that takes care of that. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. All right, so I created this template shell. You can use it if you want. and publish your book. So I'm going to open the shell that I use, okay? And since I was practicing, some of that stuff is already there. This is the document that I sent to you. What I want to show you is the magic of the document. So first of all, you can go to View and say you want to see 2 pages at a time, okay? And when you're looking at 2 pages at a time, the real beauty of this when you're in editing mode, or even 3 pages at a time, is that you can see that all of your stuff begins at the top of the document. Because when a person is reading, this is in the interior, starting with chapter 1 through the end of the book. You want it all starting at the top because it's visually pleasing to the eye. So that is a good way to review. Basically, we have the title page. You have a page where that if you've published other books, you could list those other books. Then we have the title and the author. And we have the next page is where you have the, I'm going to now get it down to view that you can actually see this stuff on the, okay, so now we have the, where you're going to put the copyright. So you're going to put in where it says author there, you're the author, you're going to put in your name. This paragraph right here is just fine. You could use that paragraph, it's all rights reserved. And I say fix below because you have to put in your own ISBN number. Now, if someone has read your book and they are willing to write a promotional piece for you, and maybe they've written some books of their own, you could put in whatever lovely thing they said about your book to promote it, and you can put in the name of the person and whatever credits they have, like if they publish books, you can list that, etc. Okay? On the next page is if you want to dedicate the book to someone, that's where you would put that. And finally, we have the table of contents. Now, the table of contents is very, very magical in Word. All you need to do is set up your chapter headings with the tools that they have there to do that. And many of you already know this, so it's kind of boring. Sorry about that. But if you go, like say, I'm going to put my cursor right on poems. Okay, actually I'll highlight it. There we go. And now I'm going to say home. And you can see right up here, that box has yellow around it, or however it shows up on your screen. That is a heading 1. If you define headings, that can be your chapter heading. It'll build a table of contents for you, okay? Down here, I have a subheading because I labeled it my poems, okay? In the shell that I sent you, it just said title and then it said subtitle. If you don't like how the title or how the subtitle looks, there is a one-time in the document change that you can make. Let's say you are on this title right here and you say, but I don't like how that looks. You can, this is right hand, right click on the heading up there and you can say modify, okay? And you can change it. It's in Arial, it's in 16 for the size. Maybe you want it bigger or maybe you want it smaller. I'm going to say 14. Maybe you want it bolded. You can bold it. Okay, I'm happy. So now the pictures of you guys are in the way, but there we go. Okay, now I want to say I can cancel if I don't like what I did, or I can say okay, and immediately all the titles that I have already defined in the book are changed. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, now say that you don't have another document that you're just going to be writing in this document. What it does when it builds something for you, let me get to another chapter that I didn't put in there. What it does for you is it automatically defines your page layout. So if you click on page layout, and page setup, you'll see that it has the margin set appropriately for a 6x9 book. I chose 6x9 because that was my first experience with publishing, with the village stories. All of them are 6x9. It says for the actual paper, it's 6x9. And it says for the layout that the header is going to become 0.35, the footer is 0.3. All of that came from the book that I've done. So that can be changed, like in the format that you download from the platelet that you download from KDP. There might be slight differences in that. That's just fine. Okay. Now, what you want to always see is you want to be able to see your margins. And on my Word, which is 2010, that's located right here. If I click there, it goes away. If I click there again, it shows my margins. And because I was copying some other things in, I lost my indentation. Now that's right there. Here's the margin definition. And you saw what I just moved up there. I moved that to 5. That's the indentation. So if you're writing a story and you want the paragraphs indented, here we go. I am writing a story. And as you type in the rest of the line, it's right, it's justified. So that means that the margins on the right and on the left are going to be the same in your book. It's going to automatically go to the next line, okay? When you want a new paragraph, then you'd hit the Enter key. So I put my cursor after the last word in that sentence, and then it's ready to start a new paragraph. That's just normal. Okay, let's say that you have another document with all of your data in it. And so we're on sub-chapter 2. I have a document already opened. If you didn't, you would go to your file and you would open whatever document that you're going to want to copy in from and go to document I have. Here's to my daughter on her 54th birthday. That's a poem. I want to put that in there, okay? So I'm not going to copy the title. I'm going to just do the title, because sometimes when you try to copy the title to the title line, it kind of destroys the format. So I'm going to type the title later. I'm just going to highlight and copy. For me, that's Control and copy. I'm going to go to my shell, and I'm going to highlight that because I want that to go away. And I'm going to Control and paste. And there it all is. It looks pretty good. I'm going to get rid of I'm writing a story. I don't like that. Okay, get rid of that. All right. Now, the only problem that I see is if you go to home and you're looking at the type font and the size, it already is Arial and 11 because that's what I used in the original document. However, it has, I want it centered. And when you look at it, it doesn't really look very centered, does it? So what you really want to do is you need to change that. What it did is it automatically put an indent every time I pressed enter, okay? Oh, by the way, you always do want to be able to see your markings. So right up here, you see that little like a paragraph sign? It'll allow you to see the markings. So I'm going to get this back because I don't want any indentation. I'm going to take that and slide it back to the marking. There we go. Now my poem is centered. Okay, I like it. I'm going to go to the next page, and this is title of the second chapter. And I might have, maybe I have more poems. Okay, so I'm going to call it more poems. Whoops, I didn't. One thing nice is, you know, in Word, now I got to move you guys again. Yeah. Now in Word, you always have the ability to undo typing. So I undo that typing. And I highlight this again and I say second poem. All right. Now I'm going to copy in another poem. I'm going to put my cursor right there and go to another poem that I have open here. And let's see here where it went to. I guess it's not open anymore. So I'm going to go up here to File and I'm going to open it. And let's see here. Future stories. Okay, there it is. All right. David's Dream. Okay, let's use David's Dream. That's a good one. Okay. So now I have Love Note to David's Family. Okay, I'll remember that title and copy it in later. I'm going to copy the poem. Okay. Shift. Control and copy. Oops, I lost my, when it doesn't, if it isn't blue, it's not really ready to go. You gotta have that. Okay, now control and copy, there we go. Okay, go back to our shell. There it is. And we're going to do the paste, control and paste. All right. And again, this is another poem. And it saved my, it knew that I had taken the indentation away. So it's not indented, okay? So I can't remember the title anymore, but I think it was Love Poem to David Family. Now this first paragraph is not really part of the poem. This should be text. So I want this to be in text. And I do want it to have the margin. It's not right adjusted right now. It's centered. So I need to go to the, I'm at the page right here. It says that it's centered. I want it justified. Okay. The right justify, okay. And at the end here, you see that little kind of mark? It's not really the end of a paragraph. So, you know, in order to have that look right, you actually have to get the paragraph. All right. Now, basically, a lot of you know how to use Word already. If you don't know how to use Word, there's probably a lot of help out there to use Word. The right justify, okay. And at the end here, you see that little kind of mark? It's not really the end of a paragraph. So, you know, in order to have that look right, you actually have to get the paragraph. All right. Basically, a lot of you know how to use Word already. If you don't know how to use Word, there's probably a lot of help out there to use Word. Like for instance, when it has like, you're doing, this is kind of like a poem. So one way or another, he plans to finish. Started looks funny by itself. I think I would put the enter key in here to finish what he started. So you can make it look good. Obviously, it's still bolded. So we're going to go to the whole poem. Okay, not the title. We're going to unbold it. And if you look up here, it says Arial and it says 14. We don't want 14, we want 11. There we go. And I see some more problems here. We'll hit the enter key. There, okay. Why am I saying no? Enter key. Okay, and so you go through and clean up the document. When you've copied in each one of your chapters and you've created chapter headings, if you have, you can see on the side, you can have a sidebar, and when you look for a find, you can try to find something in your document. You know how to do that. Say you want to find something with village in it. It highlights it. Okay, so you can figure out where it's at. In the meantime, the chapters that it knows about are being shown. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. But they're not really in your table of contents yet. So what you want to do is once you're all done with your book, and do save every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. You don't want to lose all your hard work. Okay, so I'm not going to save it as a shell because I don't want to mess up the shell, which is already messed up, but I don't want to mess it up more. And I'm going to call it my book. Okay, so I save it. Then I go to reference, taking a while to save it. Okay, then I go to references. And if you didn't have a table already created, you could create your table of contents. But since the shell already had a table, already had a table created, there it is, you can say update the table. And I always do it a second time because the second time it says you want to update the entire table. And I want to make sure it's right. So I do it a second time to say, yes, I want to update the entire table. And now I need to save it again because I changed it. I changed the table. So we're going to save it. Now what we're ready to do, we have our whole document in KDP format. It's in the right format. We need to create the PDF. Now I know that on various versions of Word, it's in different places. On my Word 10, it's a third option down that says save as Adobe PDF, but you do have that option, no matter what kind of version you have. So you want to call it, it's my book PDF, that's fine. You see, save. Since it's not very long, it's not going to take very long. This can take a long time if you have a 120-page book or 400-page book. Okay, so it closed it off. Okay, the easiest way right now that I can show you how to get to PDF is by going back to the document that I sent you. And you can see here that I have the link to kdp.amazon.com. I'm going to click on that. Now, since I already have an account, if I didn't have an account, what I'm going to say, it says, are you not Sunshine? Click here to sign in as a different user. Okay, so I click there. And it shows me the option to sign up to get your Amazon account. Okay. Once you do that, it's going to take you through the same pages I'm going to go through as Sunshine because I have a book in progress and it always takes you through the same pages. So I'm going to sign in as me. And when I get there, what it takes you to is the bookshelf. That's the main page that it always takes you to. When you're first creating your book, what you're going to do is you're going to say paperback. You click on that, and it's going to take you to the same screens that I am looking at on the book that I have in progress. So you would click on paperback, and it would take you to the same screens. So only they'd be blank. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the same screens with my information already filled in. Okay.
Sunshine, you are not sharing that screen.
I'm not?
No, you're sharing the document that you sent us.
Oh, no. Okay, hold on. Let me get something else up then. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, well then I'm going to have to tell you what it is. And I'm sorry about that. But basically, it's going to ask you questions like, do you want to do this in English? Yes, they allow you to pick the language. Then you put in the title of the book. In my case, this is a series. It's a second in the series in Sunshine Stories, so you can say that's a second in the series. You put in the author name. You have the option to put in another author or several authors if there's more than one person in your book that has contributed. Then you want to have something that kind of defines the book in an exciting way, because this is what Amazon is going to say about the book. So what I put in is not very exciting yet. I have to find something more exciting, but I said, Sunshine continues with her stories of daily life, poems, essays, and true stories. Then you have, I own the copyright. You want to say yes, or if it's a public domains work, you could choose that, but you're writing the book, so you are going to own the copyright. You can put in 7 words that basically have their keywords to your story. And if you're able to click on how do I choose keywords, and they give you a lot of information. The one thing that KDP has is they have a lot of information about each one of the things they do. Does the book contain language or images that are inappropriate for children under 18? No. And then you have the option to save and continue. Okay. When you save and continue, it shows one more page. And this is where you choose to either have a free ISBN or use your own if you've purchased an ISBN of your own. We've had people come and talk about the pros and cons of that. I chose to have a free one. The live date, if you don't put one in, Amazon will automatically put in the date that it goes live. You can then choose the inside. Do you want black and white? That's black and white for pictures and print, on cream paper, on white paper, or do you want to do it in color? If you want to do it in color, you can multiply the price by lots. It's very, very expensive. So I'm not printing in color. Then you define the size of the book, which I used as 6 by 9, I'm sorry. I said no bleed because I don't have anything that I want to go to the edge of the page. And I wanted glossy instead of matte. Then you have the option to upload your manuscript. So you click on upload your manuscript, and it allows you to select from wherever you stored your PDF. You click on that and you open it. Okay, I'm going to cancel. All right. And then it loads it. Now, like, if it's a long book, it might take 5 or 10 minutes for it to actually do that. And what it does.
Does it load it on the KDP?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's what
Okay.
it's doing. You're loading it to KDP. And then it says that it uploaded successfully. I never have had it not upload successfully. So it always will upload it. We'll talk about the cover later because you really can't have a cover until you know the total correct number of pages, or you're going to be modifying the cover again and again. If you had a cover, you could upload it too. There's an option to upload your cover. Then they have a previewer. You always want to launch the previewer. What the previewer does, it shows you what the book will look like, kind of like a proof. And you can go through and see if it looks right. If there's problems, if you had uploaded a cover and there was problems with it, they would tell you. And they automatically fix some things. Like if you haven't embedded your fonts, they do that for you. If you have, I have a couple of links in my book. And it says that, you know, what does it say? It says, we removed non-printable markup from your computer. Check these pages to confirm that your book still appears as intended. And they talk about 7 and 8, which is where the table of contents is. And it's just fine that they took that off. They talk about 2 pages where I had links listed, and that's fine. And you can then walk through the book. They have little arrows. Now, the problem is that it is not real big. So they have an option up in the right-hand corner to download a PDF proof. You click on that, and they will download to your computer. It'll say, where do you want to store it? And so you say where you want to store it, and then you say save. Okay? Now, I'm going to get out of here because I downloaded mine earlier, and I'm going to share it with you. So, share screen. I'm going to share this screen. Here we go. Here's the downloaded proof. And obviously I have some work to do, because you see how the pages don't start at the exact same place?
Mhm.
I have to fix that. So I will be going back to my Word document. Obviously I must have entered a couple of times up here before I put in the subtitle. So I have things to fix. I have something to fix there. I have something to fix there. I have something to fix there. Now this page looks good. The picture starts at the top, and my golf story starts at the top. I have something to fix there. That looks good. They look like they start at the same place.
Sunshine, would that picture have been printed in black and white?
Yes, it will. They will automatically do the color. I went through in my first book and changed all the pictures to black and white. And I found out later that I didn't need to do that. They do it for you. If you have color picture and you ask for black and white, it's going to be black and white. So
I was about to do that, so thank you.
yes. This is something that you want to proofread 1,000,000 times, because you want to read it out loud. You want to have someone else look at it. And my suggestion at the very end of my document that I gave you, after I had several people proofread my book, including me